Howdy y'all, welcome to week 14 of Elementally Intuitive Movement 101, focusing on level 3 of our Elementally Intuitive Movement. So we had our O's, we had our 1s, we had our 2s, and we've been stationary all along. So our adaptation has been to maintaining these stationary bases so that we adapt to all the ways that we can move through space with these stationary bases, switching from either the limitations of O hands or 1 or 2 and alternating between all of those. Now we add in level 3, so we're picking up our feet and we're continuing to do either our level 2 arms or level 1 or O as we're moving our feet around. So we're adapting now to our greater environment and what's going on. Right now, not only am I adapting to my greater environment, which is an uneven platform here because my ground is uneven instead of flat, but I'm also adapting to working within a small space and trying to get as much movement as I can within a smaller area. So then we see that we don't necessarily need a lot of space to practice EIM and get our cardiovascular level, level 3. And get those benefits from that added motion and force and impact that we're putting on our bodies by stepping upon the ground. The more force that we apply, the more force is going through our joints. And also the more ground reaction force is going to be coming back at us from the ground. If we step gently, less force and less impact on our joints, less ground reaction force coming back at us. We can alternate between the two to feel the difference and also to provide some challenge to our joint. So that way the cartilage is strong because it's adapting to the challenge that we're giving it. And it's gentle challenge and mindful challenge because we're paying attention to our foot position. So that way, as the force is being pushed or pulled or going through, there we go, our knee joints, it's as balanced as possible. And we mix in our arms, adapting to the changes that our bodies go through with our levers extended out, or in, or oh, so many ways to go. It can be a slow level 3. If you want to be a stationary sphere periodically, that's all right. Go back to stationary base, catch your breath, and then return to being a moving sphere. Exploring your greater environment as you're continuing to establish these maps of motion, because now that we've added in the foot motion, gravity is affecting our bodies in a different way than when we had stationary bases. So now we're adapting to those changes as well. And our bodies are getting practice in adapting to those changes because we're doing it. And the more we do it, the better we get. But what's the primary goal? Mobilization. Warming up our tissues. Mobilizing. Lubricating our joints. Warming up our fascia and interstitial fluid. That's the main thing we're doing. Hopefully having fun as we're doing it, but also supporting our nervous system, supporting these maps of motion, supporting how we breathe as we're doing all these movements, how we support our bodies with our centers, with that hinge, with the foot position, constantly adapting to all these changes that we're choosing to do without having to think about too much because it's intuitive, it's improvised motion. There's no choreography, there's no right or wrong way to do it. what matters most, yes, attention to breath, attention to center, attention to base. It's that attention and the intention to keep those balls in rotation that is the most important aspect. Everything else shifts and changes, and we adapt to those shifts and changes. And through maintaining the focus on those foundations, that's another adaptation as well. We're adapting to maintaining our focus on those foundations and getting practice of that. So then we can apply it, that same kind of practice, that same way of practicing, to other things in life, should we choose to. All right, so there we are. There's level 3 of Elementally Intuitive Movement 101 here on Coffee. Thank you so much. Next week, week 15, we will be wrapping up with level 4 and 5. And then we get to start the last 3 weeks of this whole Elementally Intuitive Movement 101 section with us standing. And then we'll do some seated work. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much. Looking forward to what comes next, whatever it may be. Thank you so much.